Good afternoon, you all. We're going to give people about one more minute to join before we get started. Again, we'll get started in about 1 minute. All right, so this is the live session with the counselors of the GLCSD for the high school. All right, before we get started, we're going to go over the district's focus, mission, vision, and motto. All right, the focus is investing in our future by developing every student. Our mission is to unify, educate, and prepare all students for college and career by providing a high quality learning experience. Our vision is a community united to provide to improve the quality of life through education. And our motto is 2020 Vision. Now, our district has 5 goals, but today we're going to focus on goal number 1, and that is to increase student achievement.
Good afternoon. We would like to welcome the parents, students, community members, district staff, board members, and any other stakeholders in attendance today. We will discuss graduation requirements, college applications and fee waivers, FAFSA, and the HELP grant, as well as information for 9th through 11th grade students. I also have the privilege of introducing the participants of this live session. Mr. Nelson Howard, counselor at Greenwood High School. Ms. Raven Ray, counselor, Greenwood High School. Dr. Retisha Brown Willis, counselor at LaFleur County High School. Yours truly, Chandra Brown, counselor at Amanda Elsie High School. We would like to acknowledge the superintendents, Dr. Brown, superintendent, Dr. Pulley, deputy superintendent, Ms. Coleman, and Mr. Johnson, assistant superintendents. District staff, Ms. Cassandra Hart, Ms. Chiquita Daniels, principals, Ms. Ayatori Roy, Amanda Elsie High School, Mr. Clerk, Greenwood High School, and Mr. Russell, LaFleur County High School. Thank you all for supporting our efforts as counselors. You are greatly appreciated. Please leave your questions and comments. Please leave your questions in the comments section. Agenda, graduation requirements, college applications, waivers, ACT, FAFSA, and Mississippi Financial Aid, the HELP grant, information for 9th through 11th grade graders. Graduation requirements. A graduation checklist is prepared for entering 9th graders. The checklist follows the student throughout their high school years. Traditional options for seniors for this year, 2021. The seniors need English 4 Carnegie units, English 1 and English 2 are required. The students can take 2 other Englishes to fulfill the other 2 Carnegie units. Mathematics, 4 Carnegie units. This Algebra 1 is required. Algebra 2 is required if the students are going to college, and they can take any other 2 maths to fulfill those 4 Carnegie units. Science, 4 Carnegie units. Biology is required. They can take any of the 3 sciences to fulfill those 4 Carnegie units. The students need a half Carnegie unit for physical education. I left health off, I apologize. The students need a half Carnegie unit in health. Art, 1 Carnegie unit. Art can be replaced with music appreciation or any other music course. Technology or computer science, 1 Carnegie unit. And the students will need 5.5 Carnegie units of any electives of their choice to complete the 24 Carnegie units it takes to graduate. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I am Dr. Retisha Brown Willis, and I'll be discussing college applications, ACT fee waivers, and college application fee waivers. College applications. We encourage all of our students to apply to at least 3 colleges and universities. That way they have options in case they change their minds at the last minute about what college they may want to go to based on their interests. If they want to apply to more, they can, but a minimum of 3 is best. We encourage all students to continue taking the ACT until they get high enough scores for college admission purposes. The Mississippi Department of Education requires that all juniors in the state of Mississippi take the ACT, and our students are scheduled to take the ACT February 23rd through the 25th this year. The juniors are, but we encourage the seniors to continue taking the ACT until they reach high enough scores for college admission. Then we submit transcripts to the colleges upon request, and they are mailed from our offices. College fee waivers. Fee waivers are available upon request to colleges and universities. Also, some colleges have free application days throughout the year, and when we get notices of those, we let our students know. ACT fee waivers. Juniors and seniors may use up to 4 ACT fee waivers within those 2 years. ACT fee waivers are given to students upon request via email. So we encourage our students to please reach out to us when they have questions or concerns, and parents as well. If you need any assistance with setting up ACT accounts or fee waivers for your children, please let us know. And our emails are at the end of this presentation. Thank you.
All right, hello again. My name is Nelson Howard, school counselor at Greenwood High School. I will be reviewing the FAFSA and the Mississippi Aid application with you all. All right, so FAFSA. What is the FAFSA? FAFSA. So the FAFSA is the free application for federal student aid. So if you plan to enroll into a college or university or a career school, which could be a community college after graduation, then you need to complete the free application for federal student aid. This is money, okay? This is how you will pay for school. So what the FAFSA does, it determines student eligibility for financial assistance. Basically, this is your financial need, okay? So this is an application that is completed yearly and it is 100% free. So the types of aid that the FAFSA gives, we have federal grants. The number one grant under the FAFSA is the Pell Grant. Now, for the upcoming academic year, the 2021-22 school year, the maximum Pell Grant will be $6,495, which is about $3,247.50 a semester if you qualify for the full Pell Grant. Also, through the FAFSA, you are awarded loans. You have the option to accept those loans, but those things you do have to pay back. Again, it is a loan, so they loan you money, you pay it back in the end after graduation. And the last form of financial assistance is work study. Work study is just what it says. While you're studying, you're working. You'll find a job on campus and they'll help you pay your tuition. Once you get paid and you take that over and you pay your tuition using that money, all right? Next, colleges and states use FAFSA to provide their own forms of financial aid, just like the state of Mississippi, which we'll talk about on the next few slides. But they use this to determine how much money they should give you based on your financial need. Now, there is no deadline for the FAFSA, but colleges and state agencies have their own deadline. So we encourage students to get this done as soon as possible. Now, the application opened October 1st, 2020, and it is now February. And we've been having a lot of students to apply for college. So we want to continue to encourage you all to apply now before it is too late and deadlines pass for state aid and college aid. Now, this is a first come, first served basis. So like the saying goes, the early bird gets the worm. Now, the FAFSA checklist. So now with this, these are the basic things that you all need to complete the FAFSA. Of course, you're going to need your social security numbers of that of your parent and yours, your parent's driver's license and state ID, and your parents' income tax return for the 2019 tax year. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be your parent, or it has to be the person that takes care of you majority of the time, okay? It doesn't have to be the person that carries you on their taxes, but it has to be the person that takes care of you the majority of the time. Now, we just finished talking about the FAFSA. Now we're going to move to the Mississippi Aid application, or MAAPP. Now, MAAPP, or the Mississippi Aid application, awards students millions of dollars in scholarships and grants each year to students in the state of Mississippi. Now, with this one, it is based off merit and financial need. They take in consideration ACT scores, your grades, and your income of your family. Now, in order to maintain the money that they give you, they ask that you be full-time students while you're in college. And this means having 15 hours per semester that you are enrolled. Now, this is linked to the FAFSA, so the process is quick and easy. Once you complete your FAFSA, you head over to the MAAPP application. You just put in a few things like your name, social security number, and it'll link to your FAFSA, and all the information is transferred over. So it's easy. It's quick and easy. It takes about 5 minutes to complete. Now, under the Mississippi Aid application, there are about 3 grants that award the most. Now, the first one is the Mississippi tuition assistance grant, or what they call it, MTAG. Now, with MTAG, you get about $500 a year between your freshman year and your sophomore years. Now, as you progress through college, you are awarded $1,000 for your junior year and $1,000 for your senior year. The only requirement is you have to be a legal resident in the state of Mississippi, maintain a 2.5 GPA, have at least a 15 on the ACT, and you can't be eligible for the full Pell Grant. Okay. Remember that $6,000 that I told you about? If you're not awarded the entire $6,000, then you're eligible for MTAG. And the deadline for this one is a little bit later than everything else. The deadline is September 15th of this year. The next one is the Mississippi Eminent Scholars Grant, or the MESG. Now, this one the requirements are a little bit different. And of course, it is more money. This is about $2,500 a year. All you have to do is be a legal resident, a 3.5 GPA while you're in college, and have a minimum a 29 on the ACT. So that is a very lofty requirement, but it is now the deadline is September 15th. Sorry. All right, so now the holy grail of the grants through MAAPP is the Higher Education Legislative Plan, which is also known as the HELP grant. Now, the HELP grant covers tuition and fees while you are in college. Okay, that is tuition and fees. So that is a bulk of the finances that you accumulate in college taken care of right there if you meet these requirements. Now, they cover about 8 semesters, which equates to 4 years of college. Now, this is particular for Mississippi public universities. However, if you decide to go to a private university within the state of Mississippi, like Belhaven, Mississippi College, Tougaloo, or Rust, then they will award by the nearest public institution. So for instance, if you decide to go to Mississippi College, then they will look at the financial burden at Jackson State and award you based on what Jackson State has to offer, and then give you an award based on that. Okay. You have to be a legal resident and have a minimum of 20 on the ACT. And we have been pushing this. Reach for that 20. While you're in school, they ask that you maintain a 2.5 GPA, and you have to complete the FAFSA to apply for the HELP grant. Now, there are income requirements when it comes to the HELP grant, which we will discuss on the next slide. And the deadline for this is March 31st. Now, the income requirements for the HELP grant. So if you're coming from a family and they income annually is $39,500 a year, then you qualify for the HELP grant if it is just you as the dependent under the age of 21. However, if you have brothers and sisters in that household and they're making over $39,000 a year, then you can add on $5,000 per child to increase that income level to see if you're eligible for the HELP grant.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Raven Ray, the counselor at Greenwood High School. I'll be briefly going over the 9th through 11th grade graduation options because they're slightly varied from those that have been traditionally done for the 12th graders and all previous graduates. Without going through the different endorsement options, there are some significant differences that really make up the bulk of it. Traditionally, students are only required to have 24 units to graduate. Well, with the new graduation requirements that are in place, starting with the junior class of this year, students will have to have 24, 26, or 28 units to graduate. Those units are determined by the endorsement option that the students select during their 8th grade year. Those options can be academic, distinguished academic, or career and technical endorsements. Those endorsements vary by ACT requirements, GPA requirements, and a little bit of versatility when it comes to the curriculum that makes up each endorsement area. The ACT, we focus a lot on the ACT in high school and with a lot of emphasis on the seniors because it's their time to get out of the door, but we don't want to wait too late. 9th through 11th grade is extremely important for them to take the ACT as well, simply because it gets them prepared for what's ahead. If you take the ACT early, you get a feel of the test before it's actually so pressing and important. You can relax, so not so much anxiety. Your chances improve. Each time you take the test, you know it a little better. You get the feel of it and you can just go for it. And each time your score is probably going to go up 2 points. That's the average for it to go up or down. And also you're in line for institutional scholarships upon the start of your senior year. A lot of times students wait until their senior year to try and get their ACT scores up so they can qualify for certain scholarships. Whereas a lot of the institutional scholarships are cut off at a certain point. But if you get that ACT score where you need to be before your senior year, you'll be able to qualify for those scholarships that are available early on. And one big thing in high school that we often seem to neglect, in a sense, is career exploration. If you think about your education that you're getting in high school, the skills that you already have, the things that interest you, what makes you happy, what really gets your gears grinding, your values, what's important to you, and your goals for life. If we consider all 5 of those things, that is where we can start looking into what career you actually want to do, the career that you want, the career that will be fulfilling to you, the career that will put the money in your pockets that you want. So we want you all, the 9th through 11th graders specifically, but the seniors as well, to start looking at those 5 different categories and start thinking about what you want to do in life as a career. And if we start early, we can take those classes that will be more geared towards the career that you want and actually get you started on the right pathway to do so. And you guys, that brings us to the end of our presentation. We have everyone's email listed, but we're going to stay on for a little while. And just like we said earlier in the slideshow, feel free to leave your comments your questions and comments in the comment section, and we're watching them right now and we'll be answering them live. You guys, I have 3 questions right now, and I'll just read them and you all can take them and answer them, whichever one of us volunteers to do so. Miss Young asks, will there be a graduation ceremony?
Well, right now, we have not received any information about the graduation ceremony for this year, but as soon as we are updated by Dr. Brown, we will update the seniors. I'm sure we'll also be able to put something on Facebook as well.
In regards to the state testing, will the seniors have to take tests in March? I'll take that one. Per the requirements and the information that was given last school term when the pandemic first hit, those tests were waived for this upcoming senior class. So the seniors, unless they are enrolled in one of the subject area classes that are tested, which are English 2, Algebra 1, Biology, and U.S. History, they will not take a state test this year. But again, if they are enrolled, if they are somehow enrolled in one of those courses, they will be required to take the test then. Otherwise, the seniors will not be testing during this testing season.
But we do encourage the seniors to continue taking the ACT until they get their scores up, because that's what colleges look at to determine their level for the college setting. So please encourage the seniors to continue to take the ACT to make sure they're getting that 20, like Mr. Howard said, to get those extra funds for college.
We have a question from Ms. Parker. Students have been experiencing canceled ACTs. Are there any directions to give those students at this time? The ACT, as far as we know, I know specifically with Greenwood High School, because we were one of the scheduled testing sites, we were given instructions to, after we canceled the test, we notified the students, but the ACT is going to give you all more information via email about rescheduling the test for one of the testing sites that's still working at this point. But outside of that, we don't have any information, being that ACT is a separate entity itself. So further information will come from that. And as soon as we know more, we'll make sure to let the parents and the students know more as well. Ms. Sandifer would like to know, will we be meeting with the juniors and seniors to make sure they have everything they need to graduate?
At Mount Elsie High School, we have met with the juniors as well as the seniors a couple of times. Again, the graduation checklist is filled out on every student when they enter the 9th grade. And every year we go over that graduation checklist to let the students know where they are. And it helps us keep track of their schedule as we are scheduling the students each year. So more than likely by their 12th grade year, they have everything that they need. And if not, we get in touch with the parents immediately before it gets to this late date, like now.
I have met with parents and students in 11th and 12th grade at LaFleur County High School also, and I will continue to meet as needed for information in regards to graduation requirements. And I encourage the students to check their active student accounts, because they can see their course history and their transcripts as well, and there as well as in the parent portal. You can access the same information from the checklist, but I also keep a checklist every year, and we go over and update it every year and meet with our students and parents on it.
The process is about the same for Greenwood High School. We use a checklist. If there are any concerns, we reach out to the parents before it is too late where nothing can be done. So if there was a major concern, parents were contacted. Also, if you would like to meet about your child's graduation requirements, you can feel free to do so. Set up an appointment. I can meet you here at Greenwood High School.
Our next question, will the juniors have to go back and take tests from last year? Just like with the seniors that I spoke on, the directive that was handed down from the state, whereas the test requirement was waived for those students, the requirement, the directions also included all subject area tests. So if you had a student enrolled in English 2, Algebra 1, Biology, or U.S. History, that test was waived for those students. That testing requirement was waived for those students last year. So for instance, if you have a junior that was scheduled to take the English 2 test on last year, being that they completed that course last year, that testing requirement has been waived. There will not be a need to go back and take the test. A question from Ms. Matthews. Are some schools now waiving the ACT score for acceptance? I'm assuming just like they did during last year.
Yes, some colleges and universities are waiving the ACT score, but they still encourage students to take it. It is being waived for admissions. It's not going to be held against them if they don't take it, but they still encourage them to take it. Again, that is tied to financial aid, and it is also tied to the level of education that they will receive at their college or university during their freshman year, like Ms. Brown said. So it's still important, but it is waived for admission purposes.
The next question, will there be an awards ceremony for Greenwood High School? Greenwood High has an awards program scheduled for next Thursday. Invitations will go out on tomorrow, so just watch out for it, but it will be next Thursday. How can I get my child's active student account unlocked? That's a question from Ms. Freeman. Ms. Freeman, I'm not sure of what school your child is, but I know with Greenwood High, you can contact the school or you can email either me or Mr. Howard and we'll get that unlocked for you. But active student.
And that's going to be the same for every school. If they email myself or Dr. Willis, we will unlock them before the end of that particular day.
All right, so I think that may have been all of the questions. Again, if you have any further questions or personal questions about your student, you can feel free to email any counsel, well, the counsel at the respective schools, any questions that you may have. Sorry about that. So again, if you have questions, email the counsel at your respective schools so they can get those answers to you. If that is all, then that's it. You all have a great afternoon.